Howdy everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Fab 5 campaign here on the Random Rhapsody Network. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM, and joining me around my virtual table today are Alyssa, Joe, Jeremy, Koines, and Kyle. Say hi, everyone.
Everyone.
Now, before we begin, I want to remind everyone that this Wednesday we will be airing Episode 4 of our miniseries event, Magi Nights, An Echo from the Stars. Next Monday, we are doing our crossover, which is going to be freaking awesome between the Fab 5 here and the Debauchery Circus. So some people from the Fab 5 will be in an earlier slot with fighting in the tournament, while some of the Debauchery Circus are going to be moving to this time slot and are going to be helping out with the Heist. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Magi Nights on Wednesday is going to be at 7 p.m. Central here on Twitch. And then we'll be uploading it to YouTube about 24 hours later. Now, you can keep up to date on everything we do here on Random Rhapsody by following us on Facebook as Random Rhapsody TV and on Twitter as @random_Rhapsody. Okay, that should do it for the announcements. So join us as we dive into the world of Loroupa and continue on with the adventures of the Fab 5.
I mean, really?
And we're back. And, Joe's talking about his favorite things. But when we last left off, the Fab 5 had tried to ambush a caravan of Yuan-Ti transporting a cargo of cages that seemed to hold some type of small being. With several of the members of the caravan already dead, the Yuan-Ti attempted to flee with their cargo aboard the wagons, while others tried to hold off the group by casting suggestion spells to try and stop them from pursuing those in flight. Apollyon managed to free himself from the spell area effect by burrowing under the sand and skimming along like a shark to surprise one of the Yuan-Ti and quite literally viscerate her. Another of the caravanners did manage to charm Eloise into assisting them in escaping. But with Liam O'Shea around, even flight doesn't always mean an easy exit from battle. As for the fleeing wagons, Blood from a Stone and Necthros Veil put a stop to that, with Blood bullseyeing the wagon driver in the head before climbing up to take his place, while Veil created a wall of force to stop them quite abruptly in their tracks. And while this also hurt both Blood, the camels, and the wagons, overall the team did win the day, and they managed to free the creatures that turned out to be doppelgangers, who had been captured by the Yuan-Ti monster hunters for use in the Azure Championship Gladiator Tournament. And I keep hearing like a straw sound. I don't know who that is, but mute yourself.
Sorry.
The team... Thank you. Love you. The team then fixed up the wagons a bit while the doppelgangers took the Yuan-Ti's clothing to better disguise themselves once they got closer to civilization. And once the doppelgangers were safely away riding those wagons, the 5 rested a bit to regain their strength and before heading out once again towards the desert oasis. And so, Fab 5, You arrived in Rowena with relative ease and safety, thanks to Eloise and her spells. And though you tried to remain inconspicuous and blend into the crowd that was queued up to be let in the city, it wasn't long before the Golden Boi was recognized by the crowd waiting in line to enter. His fame and notoriety in this region of Loroupa was quickly recognized, and it wasn't long before the People's Champion was allowed through the gates and led by his fans towards the Colosseum. The rest of you had a bit more trouble since you all separated the moment Apollyon was recognized, but eventually you were all allowed entry and welcomed into the Desert Sapphire known as Rowena. But as you all make your way south along the city streets in an attempt to catch up with your gladiator friend, a question comes to each of your minds. And that question is, what memory does your character want to forget the most? And Liam, since you're the one who rolled, why don't you go ahead and go first?
When I first met Garud would be the memory that I'd forget, because that would be the day he killed my best friend right in front of me. I'd forget that day.
Yeah, that is fair. Necthros Veil, how about you?
I'd say the memory I'd like to forget the most would be the time I forgot to carry the 1, and my math was a little off when calculating the oxygen in the portable hole when I had my friends go in.
Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. When you're a wizard, you always just worry about that damn math. That goddamn math. Poe knows exactly how you feel.
That was almost wholesome.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm so proud of Vale.
I think everybody who plays D&D worries about the math every once in a while.
This is true. This is true. Eloise, how about you?
Aw, Vale, you really do care. I don't know. Sometimes I like to pretend that my life started after my affair found me, but without the life that I had before that, I never would have met him. So, if I forget, then I'd be a different person. And I like me.
Okay. I like it. Very Eloise.
Vale just wants to clarify, that wasn't the moment he wanted to forget because he almost killed his friends. Or I should say party members. It's because he messed up the math and his intelligence was flawed for a moment.
Let us interpret what you said how we will.
I like it. Okay, Blood from a Stone. How about you?
I mean, I guess the logical thing would be to say that the look on my brother's face is I left him behind. But I kind of don't want to lose that memory, because it was the last time I ever saw him. So I think I would probably prefer the look on my father's face when I did not return home with my brother. That shame I'll never lose. And I wish I could.
I can only manage. Okay. Apollyon, how about you?
Time I'd rather forget. Well, when I was a child, it was these raiders came into our village and just burned everything to the ground. My parents, my grandparents, my siblings and cousins, all cast down around me. And I was knocked unconscious and put in chains and taken as a prize. It was the only time I felt truly powerless, and I hate it.
Okay. I like it. Very nice, everybody. Take a point of inspiration. I think this was a really good
That was
question
pretty
this
damn
time.
good.
Yeah. Everyone take a point of inspiration.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Nice.
And so, Faab. Yeah. Okay. Well, Apollyon. Let's go ahead and start with you. While the rest of your party was left behind at the gate, the crowd of your adoring fans continued to push/guide you along the city streets in the direction that you know leads towards the Colosseum. It is an elliptical structure made of stone, concrete, and tuff that has been bleached pale underneath the sun. It's been standing for centuries. It stands 4 stories tall at its highest point, with imposing columns and high arches that makes it stand out quite spectacularly against the city backdrop. For you, it's also a very familiar sight to behold, and you can't help but feel a twinge of nostalgia as you gaze upon it once again. I imagine thinking back to that initial raid and the loss of your parents and your home, it can't help but bring back a little bit of those memories as well, but since the next place you awoke was training for this exact thing.
Yep. The early years were not fun. But once I got big enough to beat all my opponents, then glory was mine.
Now, as for the rest of the group, now that you're in the city itself, the splendor and majesty that is the Desert Sapphire is open to you. Blood had mentioned that everyone in the group should meet up at a shop called Another Man's Treasures. You had also left a note for Shadows in the Wind to meet you all at an inn called the Wyvern's Rest, which is a small and kind of seedy tavern located not far from Kozak's shop. So as the 4 of you continue on towards those destinations, Apollyon, you arrive first at the Colosseum. As you make your way towards that familiar structure, it's strange and a little surreal, I said that word weird, surreal, to be walking in from towards the front entrance. As a slave and indentured fighter, you would always go in the back and through the slave pits. This time, however, you are not walking in as just any average fighter. This time, the Golden Boi is returning as a former champion. The crowd seems to follow you into the courtyard itself, which is a very large and wide area, filled with little tents and kiosks of street vendors and stuff. And there's a lot of people around you. All races of Loroupa are represented here in Rowena, and you can see tons and tons of people around, including a very large group of what's obviously fighters, warriors, and obviously your fellow competition in the tournament. But as you and your group approach of cheering, adoring fans that are still chanting your name, Golden Boi, Golden Boi, Apollyon, Apollyon, all of those competitors seem to part and ripple a little bit, making a path for you and the large group around you towards what appears to be like a small tent set up right in front of the tournament, with a low desk and a couple people sitting behind it. These people are dressed in very, very garish and vibrant clothes that mark them out as being people who work here at the Colosseum. And as you get a little bit closer, you can see the words registration in big letters on a sign in front. But all these people that are there to sign up for the tournament, they seem to be spreading and opening up and allowing you and your group of fans to get closer to get ahead of them. So,
yeah, I push past everybody, and I turn one last time, say, yes, thank you, come see me at the tournament, for I will be champion once more.
Indeed, and everyone just starts cheering and clapping their hands at, and your name is being said repeatedly as you are able to step forward towards the registry. Now, standing there in front, you see a tiefling man, and he's sitting in front next to a tabaxi, and they look up at you, and the tiefling, his eyes kind of go big as you approach. This is a rather dusky-skinned individual with short horns, curled back along with his head, with his hairline, and he says, "Apollyon, is that actually you? Oh my God!"
It's me, baby. I'm back.
"Oh my God! I can't believe it. You're one of the greatest fighters I've ever seen. You must be here for the tournament. Here." And he hands you a clipboard with a quill and a piece of paper, and basically all it does is it's basically a waiver. Sign your name. They say they want to know your name, your place of origin, and where to send your body in the eventuality that you die.
That's difficult. Where would I want him to send my body?
The tiefling looks up and says, "Well, is there a specific place that you live, or perhaps a trusted somebody who would look after your body when it's gone?"
Well, the only place I live is the place where there's blood on the other side of my knuckles. But I suppose, in the event that I wasn't the champion, I would have to trust my body to my friend Blood from a Stone, so that he would return me to his people in the desert.
And he dropped your name.
And they write down your name as well, and specifically from the desert. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I fill out the rest of the paperwork. Is there an entry fee or any gold or anything?
No, there's no entry fee or anything like that. It's just signing this acknowledges the fact that you can and more than likely will die fighting in this tournament for the glory and the amusement of the Zaim.
Yeah. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. And as you sign your name, the crowd seems to be cheering and just like clapping and laughing and really enjoying the whole spectacle once again. And there's a few people grumbling and seem to be getting annoyed by this sort of thing. But as you finish and you hand them the paperwork, you do notice that a turtle dressed in very simple robes with beads around her neck, with a quarterstaff, a silvery quarterstaff on her back, is standing kind of close to you and looking at you up and down.
Can I help you, Turtle?
Yes, that's Apollyon, I believe I heard them saying. I see you two have a erudite conclave tattoo, and I raise my hand and show mine as well.
He raises one eyebrow. Oh, you're also from the conclave. All right, what's up?
Yes, are you? I assume you are fighting on behalf of the conclave in the tournament here. I happen to be in need of, another party member or two for the fight, and I was wondering, would you care to join?
You a fighter?
I am a monk. I do, get myself into some battles here and there. I've won a tournament or two myself as well.
Interesting. You see Apollyon stand up straight and kind of size you up a little bit. And well, all right, sure. I got a couple friends too. We could form a party.
That is most gracious of you. I look forward to fighting by your side in the tournament.
All right, and what do I call you?
Yes, I am Kaya. For now.
Oh, all right, Kaya. Nice to meet you. Hope your shell as hard as it looks.
Yeah, I could take quite a few hits. And I reach my hand out to shake his hand.
Should punch him.
Oh, he squeezes way too hard. He's like murdering your hand.
Well, go ahead and make athletics checks, the both of you. You can use your character sheet yourself and just tell. Well, we can pull it up real quick.
$26 for me.
Okay, well, hold on. No, I can't. It's not on here for me.
Wow, she's gonna beat me and like just flip me upside down or something.
I can't get into that
No,
game.
no, get into yours.
Oh,
Use your game.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I guess I forgot to tell her that part.
Yeah, you kind of did.
It'll come up in our chat though from your other game.
No, but I can see it.
Oh, okay. Hey, nepotism.
Watch that roll.
And then you said it is athletics?
Yeah, make an athletics check.
Okay. Oh my god, it had to go all the way to the very top.
What did you roll?
It is a 16.
Yeah, so he grabs your hand and just squeezes, and ow, that freaking hurts. He is big and beefy. You can tell, you sort of now get the idea of why they're all cheering for this guy.
Yeah, I do my best to not show that it hurts.
Make a con saving throw.
Isn't that deception?
Can it be?
Sure, if you want to. Go ahead and make a deception check.
Not much better. That's a 12.
That's a 12, yeah. She tries to hold it as best she can, but you can tell it hurt Apollyon.
I just smile a little bit. All right, see you at the tournament.
And they do explain to you a little bit, but you do know how this works, is that each gladiator group has to be made up of 5 competitors. 5 competitors fight together in the tournament. If you didn't have 5, they would just assign you as many as you needed. But with Kaya and her friends, it seems like you'll definitely have enough people to fight in the tournament.
Because it's me and Liam from our group?
Yeah, you and Liam from your group and the 3 of them.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. 1 second. Okay. And so with that, your registration is complete, and you're able to head out. Or you can't. They do offer, like they tell you, well, you already know where everything is here, so all you have to do is tomorrow the tournament begins, and you make your way here. Be here at 6 a.m. tomorrow for the start of the competition. Tonight they're doing a special, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a grudge match, but an exhibition match. A special exhibition match tonight for the beginning of the festivities. Grovagar Umbridger, one of the original champions of the tournament, is fighting a blue dragon. It should be an incredible fight.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see that.
Big fucking
Some Dragon Boy action.
Yep. So they tell you that the fight is at 8 o'clock this evening.
Indeed. Might have to come back for that.
Okay. So with that, you they tell you can go down and tour the facility if you want to, but you know where everything is, so I don't see a real reason.
Nope, I have no desire to set foot in the under parts of the Colosseum.
Fair enough. But yeah, they tell you where to go to, which you have to go down there to at the beginning of the tournament, but you know all that stuff. So you're able to head out from the Colosseum, and as you do still have quite a few people that are following you and chanting and cheering you, and just kind of like you have kids coming up and asking you question after question about where you're going to stay, what are you going to do, yada yada yada, things like that. So it's for you. I feel like it's a pretty good day.
Oh yeah. I love to be around my adoring fans.
Indeed. But while that's going on, Liam, Veil, Alyssa, Eloise, and Blood, what are the four of you doing?
Figured we were meeting up at that tavern whenever we got the chance. Because we got split up, right?
Yeah, Apollyon went off to go to the Colosseum. You could have followed him if you wanted to, or you could.
That's what I was going to ask, if Liam and Eloise followed him, because Blood used the Sending Stone to tell her to go to the another man's treasure.
Yeah,
so I don't know if you guys were following right away, or if you were going to chase him down.
I'm going to roll a d10. If I roll a 6 or above, I followed Apollyon.
Nope.
I went straight to the bar.
You went straight to the bar?
Maybe I misspoke. Where are we supposed to meet? I'm sorry.
Well, he told her another man's treasure.
Yeah, there. That sounds like a bar to me. Everything sounds like a bar to me, though.
He would have mentioned it's a shop.
If you can drink in there, then it's a bar, and I bring my own booze, so bar.
All zoos are petting zoos if you're not a little bitch.
Exactly. Okay. Point Liam. Let's move on.
So, Eloise, you were with Liam. So the two of you are heading to another man's treasure?
Yep.
Okay. And then Veil, you had linked up.
He grabbed
with
onto Blood.
Yeah. So what are you two doing? When
That's where Blood's heading.
Okay, so you're both heading. Everyone's heading there. Okay, good enough. So eventually, let's see here. I did give you a map the last time, didn't I?
Yes. Like one of the big city maps you've been making. Yeah.
Yep. So if you look at the map, there the Colosseum is. It's fairly big, and farther south and more towards the southwest, that's where Kozik's shop is, the another man's treasure. So let me pull that up here real quick. Kozik? Okay, Kozik. Okay. So it takes you a little bit, but Liam and Eloise, the two of you, can just ask around a little bit and eventually start making your way there. And it's not long before all four of you end up on the same street and are able to link back up together. So together you head out and you eventually find a small 2-story square building. White plaster down all of it, looking a little bit dingy, a little bit more dingy and dirty than some other places. As I said last session, all the buildings tend to be uniform, just like cubes or rectangles or things like that. Sometimes with towers, sometimes not, but most of pretty much all of them are regularly painted, plastered. Some of them have mosaics on them in glass. Sometimes they have like runes carved, or it's all very artistic and very well put together.
Cool.
Pretty much everywhere you go, there's a lot of plants, hanging plants, lush gardens built into these areas, with big planters and things like that. It's a very lush city. But the building that you eventually find, called Another Man's Treasure, is a two-story building, square, that's a little more dingy, a little more dull than some of the ones around there. And I'm going to go ahead and move you right there now. So you should all be able to see. And that building right there, that's Kozik's place.
This one?
Yeah.
The heck? Roll20 kicked me out. Hold on.
Okay. It's a familiar sight for you, Blood. It looks pretty much exactly the same as the last time you were here. Handful of windows carved into the walls, with dark red curtains over the front, which you know from experience living here, that those red curtains indicate that this is a fence for the Syndicate, someplace that you can sell illicit goods. Which you knew that already, but it is a familiar thing to see. There's also a big arched hole cut out towards the front of it, which is the doorway that leads in, with curtains over that doorway as well. Everyone tends to have curtains instead of doors and windows. I mean, it's hot. It's the desert. So you want as much ventilation as possible.
Right. Sure.
So there are no glass over windows. There are no doors. It's just curtains. And it's very customary to clap and announce yourself before you enter a closed, curtained doorway. It's like the same as knocking in other parts of the world.
Can I just get a clarification out of game? Is this a fence?
Yes.
Can I just also applaud your naming of a fence Another Man's Treasure?
Thank you. I thought about that long and hard when I was coming up with this for him. I was like, it's perfect, yeah. Because it's to the unsuspecting person, it is not a fence. It is a resale shop. It's a thrift shop.
Yeah.
They got knickknacks for the city. Hey, you came to the desert. Buy one of our treasures, something like that.
Right.
And so it's Another Man's Treasure.
That's awesome. All right, back into it.
Yeah, there you go. But as I described, it is there right in front of you, down a long, narrow street, to one side of a slightly residential area of the city. So what all are you wanting to do?
Blood's going to turn to everybody.
Can't believe it. Every time you tell Polly not to shout his name, but clearly you shout your name, people learn it. It's obvious. Why don't you want? He's famous. Why didn't you tell us he's famous?
We've said that. I could have sworn that was implied. He was a champion.
I just heard. I thought he's bluster. He also said he killed the dragon by himself.
Well, okay, that was a lie. But even then, I said he was a champion. I don't like our names being shouted because we were criminals on the run.
Right.
And also, you've also noticed the last time we went into an establishment run by the Syndicate, what happened? When y'all just went in shouting, "Hey, we're the Faab Five, yeah!" What happened? Oh, yeah, that's right. We ended up having to fucking break out a bunch of horses and go on a midnight run.
Right. About that, I think you owe Apollyon and Eloise an apology.
Why?
Well, you threatened to cut Apollyon's Achilles tendon, and you also threatened to hurt Eloise just for her trying to calm you down. So I think a little apologies are in order here, and then we can go back to trusting one another.
Completely out of character. I fucking forgot I said I'd cut his Achilles.
You totally did.
You totally did.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, I was angry in the moment. Why wouldn't I be? But I do apologize for allowing my fiery desert blood to get the better of me. And no, that was not a play on words. That is the literal, there is blood in my veins.
There's blood in all of our veins, but the rest of the apology is very nice.
I was expecting another joke. I apologize.
I don't think Eloise has fiery blood in her veins.
But we are going into another establishment that is owned by them. Not only that, but this is my mentor's shop. So
with that,
please,
Dale got a little closer to Blood.
A small bit of decorum, if we can.
I'll do my best.
As you're saying that, Veil is kind of stepping towards you, Blood.
Yeah, what's going on, buddy?
He just says, he puts his hand out and says, "After you." He wants to get this over with. He's kind of chomping at the bit over here.
All right. Well, as but Apollyon's not there, by the way.
Yeah, Apollyon's not here. The token's just here for sight.
As he's coming up to the door,
I'm not there.
He's gonna say, "He's like, all right, now if you ever enter a place here, it is custom. You kind of do a clap before you go in to announce your arrival." So
do we all clap or just the first person?
This group
Veil Mage Hands claps.
This will only need.
What's the sound of one hand clapping, Mage Hand? Get out of here!
It's like this.
Just wop wop wop.
You guys, I'm gonna do this. You just normally do a regular, just kind of a quick tap tap when you go into a place, but I'm just going to announce myself so he knows who's coming in.
Understood.
So Blood's going to kind of come up, and he's just going to go. He's going to go
tap 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 tap.
As before he comes in, and he's waiting for it. He's waiting for that 2 bits before he comes in.
Yeah, and you sit there and you wait a moment, and everyone's just kind of looking at you, and you're just, like, they're all just like, well, and then suddenly you hear from the inside.
Eloise full-on has her hands over her mouth, and little bursts of air coming out of her nose because she's trying not to giggle out loud.
This is supposed to be his thing. I don't know if you would know. You know that, but I don't know if she would know that. So he's just gonna kind of.
This is where the 2 bits rhythm was invented. Okay, yeah. So you don't know that rhythm.
He's just gonna kind of just gently pull the curtain back and step inside.
And as you step inside, the first thing you see is the very familiar surroundings of Kozik's shop.
Kozik, yeah.
Inside, filled with tchotchkes of all sorts, anything from T-shirts that say Rowena across it, to snow globes, to those little stupid keychains with little Sanskrit on it that you see in shops in Arizona.
It totally doesn't say Rowena, but we tell people it does.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a resale shop with tchotchkes and goofy shit. And
I went to Rowena, and all I got was this crappy keychain.
Yeah, basically. And just random crap on shelves. Some things that is covered in dust and hasn't been moved in decades. Other things immaculately cleaned. It's like someone with ADHD tries to clean the shop and gets distracted easily, and it looks very odd. But the thing that catches as you're scanning around, you see the counter itself covered in all sorts of bits and bobs, and some weapons and some items and other things. You see the tall human man, dark skin, completely bald head with a dark beard, staring right at you with a crossbow in his hand and a very large smile, toothy smile on his face.
I clap twice and I enter.
He's just gonna hang his head. He goes, "I told you, I did the clap."
You said everybody announces themselves.
No, but I said also, and he's just turned it over. So he's like, "I did the clap, guys."
Hi, I'm Eloise.
As Eloise pushes in as well, and just goes apparently running up to the bar. Kozik glances at her, glances at you, and he's just like,
Yeah, it's me, and yes, these people are with
I
me.
got Eloise. Come here. I forgot to give you your boots back.
But he's kind of still got his hands up a little bit as he's gonna kind of walk around the counter, and he's just gonna kind of do, they probably had some kind of like, a thieves guild or the thieves can't kind of signal, and he's just gonna like do that. He goes, it's really me.
as he's looking at you up and down, he says, "What was the second largest thing you sold to me?"
What was sitting in my shop, a quarter of my office, a Harry Potter?
Yep.
I mean, did we actually come up with something?
No, I'm telling you to riff.
All right. Would that be before or after I came to work for you?
Clearly after.
Well, then it's going to have to be that lovely, lovely brooch that perhaps the captain of the guard's wife didn't need anymore.
That smile kind of grows even bigger, if that's even possible. And one hand has the crossbow, but the other hand kind of reaches down to his robes and pulls it up, and it just reveals that brooch on his chest underneath the outer robe. He just says, "So you made it back, did you?"
Yeah.
Can't decide on his accent.
He's gonna go up and he's gonna give him a hug. This man was more of just than a mentor. He was a father to him for a number of years. So
and the rest of you do see him put the crossbow aside and hold his arms out, and the two men embrace for a moment. The rest of you, he kind of glances, like pulls you back, looks at you, glances back at the rest of these people that are just kind of walking around his shop right now, and he says,
"Yeah,
and who are these?"
From the ground, because I'm flat on my butt, trying to get the boots back on my feet. Oh, look, Blood does have real friends, other than Apple.
Yes. This is these are the people that have kept me alive for the last. I mean, I think we had said Apollyon and Blood were alone for about 6 months before they met the group. Yeah. Since in game, how long has it been? Has it been 3?
Let me see here real quick. I think it's been 3 months.
Okay. These are the people who've kept me alive for the last 9 months. Well, these people, 3. You remember the big red one? Yeah, he's back in town too. He and I were alone together for a good while before we ran into them.
I heard about what happened and a bit about why you left, and I did get your letter as well.
Oh, you did? Good. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. If you do have any information on that, that's something we can discuss later. But yeah, I had a moment of weakness, maybe, where I saw what was happening to him. And it just made me think of what happened to my people and what they made him do to his as what I now know is his biscuit was the man's name, if you remember that one. And I had to get him out of there.
He nods thoughtfully and he says,
I mean, I was sending back my tithes for the first few months, and then he's going to take out a little sack of coins. He goes, and this is my payments, my guild membership fees for the rest of it. And he's going to give him $325, which I think we had at one point had come up with like something. It's like, so he's going to give him $325. It's like this is me up to date. So nobody
Eloise
can say that I was
fully on her back with her feet over her head, trying to pull her boots back on.
Kazik looks over.
Just in the background.
Yeah. He looks over at you and he's and points at you, Liam, and he says, "Colorful one, close that curtain. I'm going to close up shop for the day. Come back, all of you. I will make some coffee."
called me Colorful One. I like it. I go ahead and I close the curtain.
Colorful One is actually a man named Liam. In the dark one in the corner, the tall, brooding one, his name is Veil. Well, I'll let him tell you his whole story, but I call him Veil.
He looks at you, Veil, and he nods and he says, "You may all call me Cosmic. Please come back in. Come in. Have a seat." And he deposits that sack of money that you handed him on the table as he busies himself in the kitchen, beginning to make some coffee. As he's doing this, he looks over at you, Blood, and he says, "To be honest, I did not expect to see you again. From what I heard, you had a bounty on your head. But
I did.
Recently rescinded, in fact."
Exactly. Do you have any idea why?
He looks at you and he says, as I'm sure you expect, I did look into it the moment I heard. And what surprised me is that Valenro himself rescinded the order.
He's just... Blood's gonna almost crumple. He goes, "You gotta be... that..."
I was surprised when I heard this as well.
For those of us who don't know Valenro...
He's the Zahim.
Right. Okay.
He runs this... You see that big-ass building?
Enough said, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Zaim is the Zaim, but...
Well,
Valenro is the Guildmaster. And yes, many of us do know it to be true that they are one and the same.
He, everything is, I wish my name wasn't in his mouth. Let's just say that.
I wondered why this would happen, considering your theft of the gladiator was ordered by the Zaim himself. So, or the Valenro himself. So he ordered your deaths, and then he changed his mind. I thought perhaps you did something for him. You earned your way back into his good graces. I do not know.
I don't. Maybe it's something we've done along the way. I don't know. I mean, there are some things that might come to mind, but one thing I want to ask you, and maybe this has popped up, maybe you've heard of something. Grover Jaw. He's back in town, clearly, if you've heard the news.
He is fighting tonight, from what I understand.
Have you ever happened to heard of the group that he is running with now? A cult that he is a part of?
Kozik shakes his head. I know nothing of a cult.
They have our friend Mitchell.
Can I insight him when he says he doesn't know anything about that?
Yeah, 1 second here.
I'm just gonna leave it over to Liam. Why does he always shush me?
I'm not always quite sure. However, Blood, I was thinking, if he wants to find you,
he will
you
find
always have Apollyon with you, and Apollyon's name has been echoing through the stadium as far as
he knows. He knows.
He knows you're here.
Anyway,
yeah, that's.
Are you going to make your insight check?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to use my inspiration for that to get see if we can get it higher.
No!
It's a 16. Damn it.
Yeah. Honestly, with your 16, he seems legitimately honest. He doesn't know anything about a cult. He tells you the only thing I know about Grovigar Umbridger is that he was a former champion of the arena long before I was born, but
disappeared for quite a while too.
And he looks at you and kind of gives you a pointed look as he says, "They do tend to happen, don't they?"
Yeah. Well, there's a new, very dangerous group that has begun to reform in Loroupa, and maybe he's gonna look at everybody else. He goes, maybe when we killed the witness, that did him a favor, because maybe he was somehow hoodwinked by him.
I'm gonna lean over to Eloise. I think in Blood's group, information is power. And so when you just blurt out all your information, you give all of your power. But this is a side conversation.
That makes absolutely no sense.
Sure he hears it.
Kazik looks over at you as well, Liam, and he says, "You are not wrong."
Let's just say there's a very dangerous group. And have you ever heard of Reork Sagman? He's running it was Valena, right? Was
Laverin.
Or Laverin, okay. The Laverin, poor Laverin, yeah, the two. He works out of Laverin.
Yeah, with his 21, he definitely has heard that name before. Reork Sagman. Yes, I do indeed know that name. He is a stone merchant out of Laverin, if I'm not mistaken. He does have ties to the organization.
Yeah. Well,
he's a bad person.
He's in deep with this very, very dangerous people.
He wasn't selling any stones when we last saw him.
We took out a very powerful adversary, and maybe that has something to do with it. And maybe it's something completely different. I don't know. I really wish my name was not in that man's mouth, though.
Oh, we took out his wife. Maybe he didn't like Sigmund's wife.
So, just to interject here, I'm going to remind you that you found out that the kill order had been rescinded before you killed the Dream Witness.
Right, that's true.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we were still in Port Valena.
Okay, yeah. He goes, maybe he'll say, maybe that was it. He goes, but no, wait, no. Oh my God! He goes, that's. It's like we almost got busted by the fuzz. Maybe that's a term they have for guards, and they brought it up.
You're the fuzz,
and that was about a week before we took her out. What did we do before then?
Well,
Dragon.
Didn't Eloise say she had that run-in with your lookalike?
But my lookalikes never had anything to do with the Syndicate, at least as far as I know. He's not my lookalike. He's my brother. Plus, he died.
It's your opposite. You're similar. You're opposite.
He died before I ever joined. At least I thought he did. But we did take out a dragon in the Federation. But there's a lot of them here. It's pointless to speculate right now.
And you see Eloise is perched up on this barrel.
Go ahead.
And she's got her staff, she's kind of leaning forward on her staff because it's planted in the ground. And there are just vines and roots that are just starting to curl up.
Okay.
And
we better let her talk.
And you can see that her grip is tightening at the mention of the dragon.
Let's just say, I'm gonna release her now. Just be prepared. I say this to Kozik. He said, all right, Eloise, you can say your piece. Go ahead.
That evil, vicious, poisonous, terrible, evil green dragon, she murdered all of the druids, and then she did something to them. She brought them back from the dead, and she completely and utterly perverted nature by trying to combine the two, and then they were these the friends that Veil creates, only worse. And she didn't just do it to the druids either. The dragon did it to the bees, the giant bees, and to the dryads that were outside living on the mountain. That dragon was starting to just corrupt the whole mountain. And do you know what that dragon did to the statue?
No, I honestly have no clue whatsoever.
And I pull out the chunk of it, the blackened chunk of it that I am still carrying around with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I show it, and I'm like, blew it up from the inside.
That's been my life for about 3 months.
Kazik is looking over this piece of stone, and I imagine like he's been walking around handing people these silver mugs of coffee, and when he got to Eloise, that's when she just thrust it out at his face, and he's just like, that is unfortunate. I'm terribly sorry for your loss.
There's one other possibility that's much more terrifying, and that it was requested of him to release my death sentence by the people that we are engaged with. Have you noticed anything strange? Policy changes inside the syndicate? Anything collecting of, maybe bringing in goods, powerful items, anything like that?
He's kind of come around at this point and handing both you and Veil cups of coffee as well. And as he's putting down his tray and picks up his own mug, he says, "You ask about crazy things that are going on in the syndicate." He laughs. Everything has gone crazy in the syndicate lately. It is beyond belief.
Could you please elaborate?
Everything.
Is it the Dreamers?
Unfortunately, I've never heard of a Dreamer.
That's the name of the cult. He's gonna say it's like I wasn't gonna say it on purpose, Eloise, but it's okay. It's the name of the cult that I've been referring to.
New recruits have been coming in from all over the continent. The guild master has been quite interested in getting as many people to return to the city as possible. He has been so focused on the celebration of his ascendancy that everyone is in town. In fact, even I heard the architect himself is in town. And
would Blood know who this is?
Go ahead and make a history check.
Oh shit! Not the architect.
You said insight or
history.
History.
Yes, Liam is hugging Eloise
16.
over there. You've heard the name. It's kind of familiar. The architect is a member of the syndicate, a very shadowy individual, not unlike Falinro himself. But he is a visible one. While you've never met him, you've never heard of it more than the name, you do know that the architect is the name of the guildmaster's mastermind, the guy who plots and figures out all of the biggest, most elaborate heists.
The head guy from Leverage.
Yes, the head guy from Leverage. That's exactly who the architect is. He's the brains of the operation.
He's only bringing him in if he's expecting to pull something off. Oh God! My biggest fear is that the syndicate has been corrupted and. Well, I mean, it was corrupt before, let's face it.
Kazik laughs at that. It is always corrupted. We are thieves guild.
But my biggest fear is that our leadership is now serving a new master, so to speak. And if that is true, Loroupa is in trouble.
You keep suggesting that this cult you seem to be involved with is corrupted the syndicate. I don't know. I haven't seen any sort of any sort of signs as far as that goes. It's been business as usual. As far as that
the thing is, you don't really see any signs. They kind of proved that to us with the whole cafe trick. They talked to us in a cafe, then when they got up, The entire dining room simultaneously got up and walked out as well. They're everywhere. They're nobody and everybody.
I should have seen the similarities before, but just how much do you know of the history of Loroupa?
And he kind of shrugs and says, as much as any other man, I suppose.
You might have heard this story. During the age of what is called the Age of Dreaming, does that sound familiar to you? Before the time of the Five, the Cataclysm, when everybody was driven underground. You don't remember the thing that I used to talk about? That my people were brought here as slaves?
He nods his head and says that he does. Eloise, if you're saying you want to know if Kazac's like, don't forget, anyone who wants to chime in, just type the word next and I'll cut away to you. But go ahead and make an insight check, Eloise.
No.
Yeah,
I'm too distracted.
As far as you can tell, he's being genuine. But Kazakh does agree that, he does know a little bit about that sort of thing and has heard of the Cataclysm and the Age of Dreaming at least a little bit.
We believe in what we have learned from these sources that we have come across. That God, all-powerful being, they called him the Dreamer, or at least that's what we've known him to be called. He's maybe coming back. They're trying to resurrect him or bring him back to this world. I don't know exactly. But that is the group that has been gaining power all over Loroupa. Sagman is a faithful member. I'm terrified if the Guildmaster is now. Listen.
Kazakh's sitting down with all of you, kind of sipping on his own coffee, and if what you believe is true, that's I cannot think of anything worse that could happen to the guild.
I don't know how to prove it.
To the Federation itself.
Yeah. I hope that this is just the paranoia of myself. It's been my fear this entire time. And the things you have told me have not made that fear any lesser. I'm just hoping that maybe I'm overreacting. And you said he's bringing everybody in for his ascendance. I guess, would this mean that the Guildmaster has changed since I left?
So, no. This,
or is it just like his anniversary?
Yeah, the tournament that Apollion's fighting in is a celebration of basically the anniversary of the Federation.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, I mean that could explain a lot of things. They're preparing for that.
Oh, it's in celebration of Rowena's 2000th year. That's what it is.
That very well could be why everybody's coming in. So hopefully, I'm just overreacting.
That has been the assumption: is that everyone just coming in for the tournament and the celebration and everything that goes along with it. But there is a lot of people here for the ceremony. There's even some high priestess from Hyrulean that's here. Apparently, a guest of the Zaim himself.
Oh, God damn it!
Hopefully Mitchell.
A friend of ours has become corrupted by this group.
He's under a spell.
Hopefully, he is here as his guest because she is a powerful figure in Loroupa, and he is the leader of the Federation, as far as everyone knows.
Oh yeah, the lady with the dragons who mind controls people.
She's just a very talkative little bird, isn't she?
Hopefully.
Probably about this time is when
Wait,
Apollyon
are you a dragon
arrives.
with a lady tattoo?
No, the lady with the dragon who, what did I say? Who
She
mind
said
controls
she
people.
mind controls people, yeah.
Yeah. But Apollyon, this is about the time that you had arrived in the front of the shop.
Fuck me.
It took you a while to ask around and find it, but you eventually did. And the shop seems to have its curtain over the door closed shut and drawn, but you can definitely hear voices from the inside.
I've never been in this part of town before. I wonder if they have anything that will go for my nice new outfit.
Do you clap before entering, or do you just
I
enter?
was going to see if he'd remember to do that without prompt. He should know.
I remember, but would Apollyon know that?
That's a good question.
I mean, Apollyon would know that from
He's
being
lived
from this
here.
region, but whether or not he remembers is entirely up to you.
Does Koines want to make a roll?
Yeah, I'll do odds. Odds I do it, and evens I don't.
Okay.
Oh,
Nope. He just opens the door and walks in there.
Yep,
Hey, how you doing?
the curtain flies back, and there's Apollyon charging in. And the moment that happens, Kazik grabs his weapon, turns and fires.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not going to even stop him.
I'm literally right in between the two of them, like direct line.
Yeah, but he's a tall, dark drink of water. I think
He's not aiming for you. He's not going to hit you.
That's a 24 to hit.
Yeah, that hit.
Hold on.
You ain't got shield.
I will use a lucky point.
Oh.
You're going to use a lucky point? Okay, he'll reroll.
Ooh, he's got a...
22.
I'm lucky. 22 is exactly my AC.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, a bolt just goes shooting from this crossbow, striking you right in the chest, doing a total of 19 points of damage as just explosion of sound comes off of it.
I'd like to think at this time Blood's also had pulled his up and is about to fire. He's like, oh, ho. That's
Apollyon coughs up a little bit of blood.
Sorry, dude. Hey.
Bill raises his finger to tell the dead. He sees it's Apollyon, but he keeps his finger raised.
That's it anyway. But Blood's gonna be like, hey, it's all right. That's the whole reason why I was under a sentence of death. And he's gonna look at Apollyon and he goes, hey, brother. He's gonna sit there clapping like, huh? Come on, bro. How long did you live here?
I clapped. It's rather fun to clap.
He's all right. He's with us. That's a good shot, though.
He kind of
Not as good as hitting that rabbit from 300 feet.
No, it wasn't, but that's still a good shot. That's expecting Kyle to say so. It's like, I apologize for my friends not knowing the proper decorums.
I was expecting Blood to brag about his shot, not Apollyon.
And you see Apollyon go, oh, Blood, your friends sure are aggressive. And he just rips the bolt out of his chest, and you see him kind of close his eyes and put his hands together. It almost looks like he's praying. And then as his eyes snap open, he uses his second wind ability to regain those hit points.
I was going to say, we could have healed you.
Well, it's,
I can heal myself.
5 plus
7 points of
1.
healing. 2.
2. That's right.
nice.
Come here, you big lug.
Here,
And-
Apple, come sit down on the barrel. Let me finish that up for you.
Kazik,
Holy, that was amazing! Everybody knew your name. You're a superstar.
You know it. Yep, here I'm the champion. Not like everywhere else where I'm just a nobody.
And he'll be like, he goes, go ahead. Sorry.
I imagine Kazik does apologize to you.
Don't apologize. He fucked up.
But he does put his crossbow away now that everyone's saying that this is your friend.
I go back and I close the curtain again.
Hey, big guy. when you were there, was there anything strange, a little odd, from the last time you were there?
I don't think so.
Anything you
Just a lot of
noticed?
commotion for the tournament.
All right. Just getting some distressing information about home. Do you know that it was the Zahim himself that rescinded our death order?
Oh, wow. Why would he do that?
Well, we don't know. That's what scares me a little bit. Just don't shout that to everybody, please.
Well, maybe I'll just ask him tomorrow at the tournament.
Let's not. Let's find out later, perhaps when we have the advantage.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I get to ask him any question I want if I win. I'll find out your information for you, bro.
He's gonna look over.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be looking at it like, Diaz, you know what? We're supposed to ask for that root, but that actually isn't that bad. No, we need to get the root. But yeah, Kozik, I'm sure you've
Watch, Apollyon's going to get there, and the question he's going to ask is like, how are you doing today?
I hope.
It's like on South Park, but Stan asks God,
Yep.
why didn't I got my period yet? Boys don't get periods. Kozik, you've probably seen him in the past. This is Apollyon. This is Kozik.
He does nod his head to you, Apollyon, in recognition.
Oh, yeah, another fan I see.
I did see you.
Don't shoot your crossbow at me, but bring that enthusiasm down to the tournament. I love it.
That time when you fought off 6 wolves at once was very impressive.
Oh, yeah, these days I'm fighting things a lot bigger than wolves.
Yeah.
I think this is...
You gotta turn around and show the back tattoo.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely show the back tattoo.
Love it. Love it. I think this is actually a good place to take a break.
Sure.
So let's go ahead and take 10 minutes. We will be right back, folks, and we're going to find out a little more about what they want to do here with Kozik. So stay tuned.
All right.
And we are back, everyone. When we last left off, the Faab Five had went to a shop called Another Man's Treasures, where Blood was able to reunite with his old teacher, Kozik Breland. He told the group a few interesting tidbits of information, and which definitely raised Blood's anxiety level.
Very much so.
And that's where we're picking right up at. What are you all wanting to do from here?
I guess he'll say, like, all this stuff, we could be here for hours talking about this stuff. And it would just terrify me more and more and more. And I don't want ulcers. So, briefly, were you able to find anything out about my letter?
Now, the letter that you sent specifically was asking about your brother.
In veiled terms, but yes.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So he walks over to a cabinet on the inner side of his little shop and opens it up and bends down, and you've seen him do this before. He has a little lockbox back there that he keeps his important information and documents. He unlocks this and pulls something out, and as he returns, he tells you, unfortunately, I did not find very much on the name Alnat. However, the ship itself, and he opens up this little manila envelope, and the Dos Rios, yeah. This ship I was able to find out a little bit. It makes port in a city called Valena, which is in the kingdom of Radagast. It makes frequent trips along the river, going all the way from Gulferin to Ravencia.
And do you happen to know who owns that ship? Is it tethered to anybody in particular that we might know?
It's owned to a merchant group known as Bright Harvest. But as far as their financials and things of that nature go, as far as I can tell, they are not in league with the Syndicate or anything like that. But they seem to be on the up and up.
Alright. Do you know where their headquarters are?
In Velena.
Okay, they are in Velena, okay. Next time we're back in a port.
Hold on. I think I'm saying the name wrong. It's not Velena. That's Port Velena. So I'm sorry.
Oh, please don't tell me it's the other one.
No, it's hold on a second. Venuis.
Venuis, okay.
Venuis. I'm sorry. Velena, Venuis.
Where's Venuis? Is Venuis in Radagast as well, or is that in
no?
another?
Venuis is in Radagast. Yeah.
Okay.
Velena is technically between Radagast and Morat or the Dowan Empire. It's like the harbor between the two.
First,
But
it was the
Venuis.
cities with the R names. Now it's
Now
the
they're
cities with the V names.
Yeah.
I swear to God, there are cities in this world with something other than an R or a V. I swear to God, there are. You just never fucking go to them.
I'll remember that information if I ever get to visit there. Maybe I don't think our I don't think our friends have any portals there or not, but I'll keep it in mind.
Go ahead and make a history check for me, Blood.
$18.
So you do know a little bit about this city. Venuis is the city on the other side of the river and right next to the Ilmithica border. It's on the northern border of Ilmithica. It is also the place where Master Ohm said he was. You were to meet him.
Well, the blood would be like, "Oh, we're actually going there."
Yeah, that's what I was looking for a reaction, and I was like, "Wait,
okay, I couldn't remember because I guess you said the name wrong. Or
so
he's
yeah,
like, hey,
I said the name wrong, and yeah.
Now I remember Venuis from him sitting there. He goes, "You know what? We're actually going there. That's gonna be a good idea." Two more items. One real quick. Does the name Shadows in the Wind mean anything to you?
Let's see.
I'll get there, Veil. Ow.
The 13, no. He shakes his head and says,
Right.
"Unfortunately, no. I've never heard that name before."
He's another member. We're supposed to. We came across him somewhere on the Dawson Empire, a city called Bradfordshire.
Veil kind of interjects here and just asks, "Excuse me, sir. What is the punishment for stealing from another member? Just curious. Or a member's party."
He looks confused.
He means within the syndicate.
Yes, within the syndicate.
He gives you a very odd look, and he says, If a member of the Thieves Guild steals from another member of the Thieves Guild, it's a good display of thievery, wouldn't you say? What, do you think that there's honor amongst thieves? We steal things.
I would think there'd be some sort of code.
Well, technically, Veil, he stole from you.
That's why I said a
friend,
a member's party member.
He took something from us. I did promise him a favor at one point, which is a mistake, granted. But he took some. We're meeting with him later. I guess, is today about that day?
Oh yeah,
yeah. This is the day.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be meeting with him later. Hopefully, we can get that item back. But another reason that info might be interesting. Do you remember when we used to stay up late and we would plan our dream heist? Where we would go and find the Guildmaster's secrets?
He kind of chuckles a little about that, and he says, "Oh yes, that is the dream of every thief in the guild."
Well, what if I told you that we might want to make that a reality?
He looks at you and he's making an insight check on you. Just because he rolled a 20. Make
I
whatever
have
roll
specific
you want.
reasons.
He's looking at you very piercingly, and since I already know what the reasons why, he says, "If you were serious about doing something like that, I think you would definitely need somebody like the architect."
Do you really think he would? I mean, I know I've heard the stories. I know he's bold. He's brash. You think he'd be up for it? What would we? I mean, I'm guessing there's something inside we could give him as payment.
He just laughs and says, "The vault of the Zaim is said to be a dragon's hoard worth of treasure."
Well, you remember that cult, and I said they're trying to bring back this all-powerful individual? Well, there are certain things they need to do so, and we have it under good authority that one of them is in the vault. Now, we have been sent here, requested by another group to try and they want us to win the tournament, obviously. But I'm always going to be running contingency plans, and so we might try and get into it. Might try and make things a little interesting.
If you're serious about this, I suppose I could ask around and see.
Be very careful. I mean, I trust. I'm half wanting to run away and tear, but it's the score that none of us could ever possibly top. We'd be, if people knew and we survived, we'd be gods. I mean, we'd be legends.
It's a suicide run to be sure, but every thief dreams of.
I'm doing it for different reasons than just the monetary here. But it's important that we get into that vault. One way or the other. Win the tournament, or we have to go in another way. Because if we don't get that item, somebody else is going to get that item. It's not going to be good.
I will make some inquiries on your behalf. I will be subtle. He looks at you.
Subtle would be the word.
You know me, blood.
I know.
I gave him the spy background, and he's a scout rogue, so he's pretty good at this stuff.
Oh yeah. Don't put yourself in undue trouble. But poke where you think you can poke without getting poked back.
Do you have some place you are planning on staying, or he glances at the stairs that go up to the second level, and then glances around at the big group of people, including the gigantic Minotaur.
I would trust me.
Well, that depends. Do you serve any alcohol here?
I don't think there's enough room here, bud.
Right. Okay. Decision's made up. We're off to find housing elsewhere.
You have no idea how much I would love to sleep in my own bed, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll put them up somewhere. Come back, but we'll figure that out. If we have to, in an emergency sense, crash.
I want to see what kind of quarters the Golden Boi can get us.
I don't want to.
He's a superstar.
But you know why that would be a bad thing, right?
They know he's here. What do you want? He'll probably get one of the best quarters in the whole place. Polly, back me up here.
Oh yeah, I can find us some lodgings that'll be nice. Don't you worry.
How are they going to get us killed before we ever get to try?
The last time that we all took a rest was in the sand, all huddled up within a certain... We were in a bubble, Blood. We were in a goddamn bubble, and Veil, I love your bubbles, but damn it. We deserve some good lodging. It's been a while.
Tell you what, we won't make that decision now. We have somebody we need to meet. Or at least Mr. Veil and I do. We can figure it out. We got time.
Fair enough.
Well,
I'm sure there's safe houses around that he could probably find a spot to stay. That wouldn't be like on the Zahim's doorstep or something.
I mean, there's plenty of inns and things like that, too.
Nobody's going to fucking miss that big red bastard, though.
Yeah, so...
What time of day is it now?
It's probably getting more towards late afternoon at this point, because you kind of got into the city a little bit later. But yeah, I'd say close to early evening.
Would the Grand Bazaar still be open?
No, not at this. They're probably closing down at this moment. If you want to do a shopping trip, let's do that off camera. Just I know you said you wanted to commission your armor, so if you want to describe
Get a sweet outfit.
Yeah, just describe for us real quick what it is you're looking for.
Basically some like decorative armor that has like a kind of like a black and silver design to it with a chest piece shaped like a dragon and little like spikes on the gauntlets. Everything going for kind of a return king, scorpion king kind of vibe.
Just thought of this. Where's Biscuit staying? We're in your hometown, yeah?
Biscuit's probably in the pens.
So then my next question is, Apollyon, like, are you wanting this to be functional armor, or are you just wanting this to be decorative?
Nah, it's decorative. I don't actually need to wear armor.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. So,
it's like a costume.
Yeah, it's like a costume. So it takes you a little bit to find somebody who can do this, because it is a custom piece, but you can find an armor smith next to a jeweler who can do some really incredible work. And we're going to say for 450 gold pieces,
Oh my God.
you'll able to get the armor that you're looking for.
Tight.
So
Before I guess we go hunting for shadows, Blood's gonna kind of show Koza. He goes, "Hey, I got something. If we can replicate this stuff, you could sell it to the suckers all day long." And he's gonna pull out the amulet of the continual flame, and one of the caps of water breathing. He goes, "Now I know these look like they're just mundane items, but when you wear this, it gives you a little bit of a light around yourself. And when you wear this cap, you can breathe underwater. Now, can you imagine the amount of money we can make off suckers if we could duplicate these items, sell them in the shop, and tell them, hey, you can go explore the oasis? I mean, we don't have to really worry about what happens to them after they go in the water, because they'll be able to breathe. But I'm just thinking the amount of money we can make off suckers.
Oh, yeah, he kind of chuckles a little bit and has a gleam in his eye and says, "Let me hold on to one of each of these, and I'll put some feelers out."
Need to figure out how to duplicate them. I'm sure there seem to be simple enchantments from what I've been told.
There are a few enchanters I know. I can ask around. But as the rest of the group is preparing to leave, and you're saying this, he kind of grabs your arm and pulls you close to him, and he says, "Did you make an agreement with the guild master in Revancia?"
Wouldn't say so much as an agreement as I had to pay him money and get fucking heat off of him that these people kind of helped put on. I gave him an item that meant something to me as payment as well.
And did you promise him more money to spread rumors about somebody?
I paid his spy master. I paid the gentleman money to do that already.
But you also promised that the guild master.
I gave him
if he
all
did,
of the.
No, you promised him that if he did something for you, to include it in this, to spread the rumor around, that if the rumor got spread around, you would also pay him.
That was part of that was all the syndicate gold we had. I had all that bracketed out.
You did?
So I gave that all to him. Yeah, the gold that I gave the other guy, that was Blood's personal fucking money.
Because I seem to remember you were supposed to meet with him one last time to close out on the deal.
I figured we gave it to him when I gave him the bracers.
Because he still had information.
No, it was that, but there was that was like.
Well, I mean, then I still have that. Then I still have that 500.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, you remember you originally asked him to do a job to find out whether or not Mitchell was in the place.
Yeah, and I still have that money then.
You promised him a payment of that. That's what I'm referring to.
I've got the money. We never got to meet with him the second time. We kind of had to get out because they were looking for us.
The word is he's asking around about you, saying that you still owe him money.
Well, then send him. I mean, I'll give you the money. You can send him a message saying that I have it right here, but he also needs to give any information he was able to get. So he doesn't. It ain't just him seeking something. He owes something in return.
From what I understand, he is looking for you about that. That's all. I just wanted to pass that information along.
You know what? Is he one of the... He might be here in town. Maybe he came in for the tournament.
I could ask around.
I mean, I'll keep this here with you, and he's going to give him those 5 bars. And he goes, this is what was left to pay him for that. But we kind of had to make a quick getaway because once we got the heat off of him, we definitely had to. They weren't platinum veil. That's the syndicate gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the gold went to saving our asses.
Yeah, he's been spending that like the last 4 episodes.
That went to saving our necks.
I thought we got platinum either at the chalet or whatever it was, or in the
it was that syndicate gold. Okay. Especially stamped gold that only the syndicate would exchange.
Okay, I thought there was something about platinum bars. Maybe that was underwater with the Dream Witness.
No platinum bars. You have never gotten a platinum
I think we got platinum from them.
Platinum, yes.
But that was a long time ago, yeah.
Okay, all right. So basically we got no cash defense.
Well, I mean, I've got some items, but I mean, you can sell old magic if you don't have
platinum. I don't have platinum on my sheet.
I have like 2 pieces left, but because I converted it to gold, and then
y'all been spending a lot lately.
A lot of that's what went to that guy. So then he still has that. He'll leave that here. He goes, just get a message to him. I was like, he still has information he owes me.
I'll put some feelers out, and if he's in the city, I will set a meeting. But
that's fine.
Just let me know where it is you end up staying, in case I hear anything.
I will. Not a problem.
Then he does let you all head out once again.
It's like, we will stay in touch. We're going to be in the city for a little while. But I'll be back tonight, no matter what, at least in some way.
Okay. He sees you all out, and sends you his regards as you're all leaving, and eventually he heads back inside as you're all making your way out into the city. And I assume the next place you're wanting to go is the Wyvern's Rest?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know exactly where this is because you've been to this place many times before. It's not far from Kazak's shop. It's on Wayne Rise in this residential ward that you're currently in. And it stands next to a small shop that sells dwarven goods. The inn itself is a simple wooden and sandstone shack with a single salvaged stone wall and a dirt floor that is covered in straw most of the time. As you all step inside, it is exceptionally filthy and dimly lit with a few tallow candles. You know, Blood, that accommodations consist of woolen blankets on the floor of narrow rooms in the back that can barely fit a couple people. Not a great place to be, but,
No.
you know, it is what it is.
You get the shittiest little bar down in the main level.
Yep, exactly.
It's carpeted.
Oh, no. Well, you know what? It is supposed to be a dirty place. Nobody wants a carpeted bar. Ugh.
Ugh.
I mean, there
like
are a few,
bathroom.
Furs and things like that on there. But as you step inside, you do find that there are a few tables with some people and a handful of people at the bar, but a lot of tables are empty inside here. There is a bartender, a human woman, blonde hair, very, very haggard looking, walking around. That's the bar maiden. The bartender himself is a gray-bearded man with a bald head. They both seem kind of down on their luck, but as you all approach, you hear the bartender yell out, "Welcome, welcome, my friends! Please, come in. Make yourself at home. Gertrude, get over there."
Does he recognize Blood? Because I'm sure Blood's been here before.
He doesn't really look that closely. He's just like, welcome, get in. But go ahead.
I was going to say, I walk right up to the bar, assuming Eloise is following, and say, "Hi, this is Eloise. Can we get a few beers?" Figure she's going to say her name anyway. Might as well get it out of the way.
Okay. Eloise, what are you doing? Eloise, are you with us?
Oh. She's muted. Maybe she stepped away real quick.
Yep, maybe. Well, that's okay. Well, the bartender just kind of looks at you and, welcome, Eloise. Welcome, colorful-haired men. Please sit down. Let me get you those beers. And he starts pouring 2 ales each, and then tells you, 1 silver piece, please.
Yeah, I'll give him 2 silver.
You give him 2 silver. He grabs that up real quick. "Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you so very much. Please, sit down. Make yourself at home."
Guess I'll find where everybody else is gathering up over here. Over in the corner
so
away from everybody.
And we can watch the door.
So antisocial.
So we can watch the door.
Just letting you know, Jareth is perched out here on top of this stall, kind of keeping an eye out for anything outside.
Okay. Absolutely. There are a few stalls out there, mostly street vendors selling snacks and food, grilled meats, sweet dates, almonds, things of that nature. But Jareth can fly over there and land on top of the stall, and he's pretty well ignored. Now, the barmaid walks over. That's the grizzled, blonde-haired woman with her hair in a kerchief. She says, "Nice. I see a couple. You have a couple drinks already, but is there anything else I can get you?" And she kind of looks over each of you, but Go ahead and make an insight check, Blood.
.6.
You can definitely see like the eyes linger on you a little bit in recognition, but she doesn't make any mention of it.
Does she seem like she recognizes Apollyon?
Of course she probably does.
If she does, she doesn't really make a big deal out of it. She just seems to be more interested in taking your order. You can tell that people are kind of yelling and calling for her already, even as she's approached you. Bar patrons are kind of, needy.
Yeah, I'll just have some ale.
Absolutely. Apollyon. That's your name, right? You're a gladiator.
Yes, indeed I am, ma'am. Good to see another fan out here.
Oh yes, I recognize you. An ale for you, that'll be on the house.
Oh, well, thank you.
As for the rest of you?
Right. By
me.
the time this one's gone, I'll need another one. So yes, another beer.
I'll take a
Bill
water.
just has no water for me. Thank you.
Same for me.
So 2 waters and a few ales, and she goes off and gets this. You only got a couple more ales, so let's call it. What is it? 5 copper pieces.
When she walks away to go get more of those, Blood's gonna lean over to Veil. He's like, would you do your little prestidigitation thing? That doesn't also cleanse stuff of poison, does it?
I was actually just thinking the same thing as me, Jeremy.
I don't think it does. There's another spell that does that.
I know. Purify food and water, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
Miss Eloise held, I guess.
She's out of chat.
Well, then, does she have that on her spell, like purify food and water?
Well, I personally didn't plan on drinking the water anyway. It was just there for aesthetic.
Well, it's a good idea because it is not going to look like water, or if it might look like water, but it'll probably kill you. But she.
Well, I could clean it.
It looks like she does have purify food and drink, which is a ritual spell.
Okay. Oh, it's a ritual. Well,
so it takes 10 minutes, but
I'm not going to have her sit there and, do this whole time. He's like, tell you what, we're just not going to drink it because she looked at me a little too long. She knows exactly what I am. She didn't say anything either.
Liam says, "What?" as he slams down his first beer.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine, Liam. You keep doing you.
Excellent.
And Blood's just going to be watching her and the bartender very closely and just kind of scanning the room constantly. Also, he's in security camera mode. He's just kind of looking at everybody, going back and one to the other, checking out the door.
One paranoid kitty
everything.
cat.
Okay, go ahead and make perception checks as you're doing that. And just for the argument's sake, how long would it actually take for you to sit there and wait before you eventually give up? Would it take you an hour? Would it take you 24 hours? I'm not saying there's a wrong answer. I'm just curious.
To wait for a beer?
No, to wait for shadows.
To wait for shadows.
Oh.
Well, it's Veil's item.
Yeah, I'm waiting here all night if I have to.
Is with that 24, is anybody giving us the stink eye? Not just the barmaid or the bartender, but any of the guests. Are they like looking in our direction, whispered between each other? Anybody keeping an eye on us?
Yeah, with your 24, you sit there and watch, and you have those beers in front of you. None of you, other than Liam, apparently, wants to pick them up and drink them, but Liam pounded it down and probably ordered a couple more.
I'm drinking.
Oh, you are?
Apollyon's
Okay,
drinking
good.
his ale. Yeah.
Poison the night before the big fight.
Eloise, if you're, are you back yet?
I don't think so.
Okay. Chime in whenever you are.
Yeah, she's not even in Discord.
Yeah, okay. Well, Apollyon and Liam, the two of you are drinking your beers and having a good old time. You probably can even get another round in. You sit there and wait for about an hour or so as you're doing this. And, like, Blood, you're scanning the crowd, you're watching. And other than, like, when the barmaid comes over and asks you if you want another round, they don't really seem to be paying much undue attention. She actually tends to go from table to table quite frequently, trying to get people to drink more, and most of the patrons seem to do so. None of them really give you any interest. Like every so often, someone will glance at you just to see what you're doing, but you're just sitting there. So
He's just Aragorn in the corner, eyeballing everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. Nobody pays you any real mind.
If you really want, he can have the hood up with a pipe. I mean, I could go to fucking 10 yards, right? Go whole 9 yards for you if you like.
I want you with a pipe, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's just gonna keep doing that and kind of making small talk with everybody, you know, and waiting for shadows.
Actually, if it's dim light in here, you probably shouldn't put the hood up because then you'll be invisible.
No. That's without. The hood doesn't do anything with that. The hood just makes it harder to see me if they're looking for me. But that dim light shit, that's a ranger ability. Even think about that. Fucking goddamn it, man.
Yeah, and the day just the evening kind of goes on, and you sit there and wait an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Liam and Apollyon, the two of you, go ahead and take off 3 silver on each of your character sheets, because that's how much you've been drinking over the span.
Jesus.
Okay.
Just for the sake of argument. I figure you're each ordering round after round and just kind of chilling. Maybe you even order a meal or something. I don't know. But
I'm having Apollyon regale me with old gladiator stories and stuff like that. Yeah, we're having a good old time.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the crowd chimes in. Like I guarantee over 3 hours, people in the bar have recognized Apollyon and has walked over and gotten autographs and kind of goofed off and bought him a few rounds as well. So, I mean, for the most part, for the next few hours, it's been a pleasant evening. Now, eventually, I imagine Veil is also like checking through Jareth's eyes every so often, and patrons come and patrons go. Eventually, a trio of orcs walk in from the bar, or into the bar. Jareth would see them first, walking up around one of the stalls and towards the doors. Perhaps you happen to be looking through there at that moment.
Yep.
You relay that information?
Oh yeah, I would let him know.
I mean, I'm just telling you that they don't. The only reason they stand out is there's 3 of them that's coming in the bar. Other people have come and gone as well, and you probably relayed the same information in the same fashion. 2 halflings and a tiefling walking in the bar. They walk in, they do some shit, they leave. A pair of dwarves and a human are walking in the bar. Like, it's just a constant thing over the last 3 hours. But these
Priest,
3,
a rabbi, and a fisherman walk into a bar.
Exactly. These 3, the reason they stand out is the fact that they're 3 orcs. The moment they step in the bar, they kind of look around a little bit, and they stand there at the door, and all of you are able to see them. 2 are male, one's female. The female carries, let's see. They're all armed. The female has a maul. One of the male has a great axe. The other one has a rapier at his side. And they kind of just scan the crowd a little bit. But then their eyes lock on Apollyon, and they look him over, and the trio walks over to your group. The female of the group, she looks at you and she says, "Aren't you Apollyon the Golden Boi?"
Yep, that's me. Another fan?
Absolutely a fan. I saw you fight quite a few times in the tournament when I was young. You were impressive out there.
Oh yes. It's good times back in the old days.
And they kind of sit there and chat with you for like 10 minutes, being fans and talking about some fights that you did, and maybe even one of them asked you for your autograph. And Blood's gripping his hand crossbow under the table, Han Solo style. Yeah, that sounds about right.
First, baby.
Yeah. Eventually, they do say, "Your group as a whole, you're the Fab Five, right?"
Yeah, that's us. We're the adventuring of legend.
Oh, God damn it.
Well,
but wait, how'd you know that name?
It's really nice to meet you. Yeah, this is the female talking. I'm Shura. This is Kogan, and this is Argha. Big fans, by the way. We were sent to retrieve you.
Retrieve me?
Who sent you for this retrieval? Here.
Yeah, at this point, Apollyon will reach down and grab his trident and brandish it towards him and say, "Who sent you?"
Oh no. Roll intimidation.
Well, before you say that, they just like one of them, the paler of the three. This one has a bit just has much lighter toned skin. He says the art at the same time. The woman kind of shoves him in the shoulders a little bit, and then she pulls out something from her bag. And like all of you are really super fucking tense right now, I imagine. While these three just seem kind of jovial and congenial. And as she's reaching in, like all of you grab your weapons and are getting ready to pounce. And she just pulls out a piece of paper, and she sets it down on the table in front of you, Apollyon.
What's that?
Well, you can pick it up and look at it if you want to. Are you doing that?
All right.
Veil leans in. He says, "Paper. This is my expertise." And he retrieves it and starts reading it.
Apollyon's gonna snatch it out of his hand. No. This is for me. I can handle it.
Are you sure you know how to read these words, big fella?
Well, we'll see.
That's just rude.
I open it up. What language is it in?
Okay. You're all fighting over it, snatching it back and forth, like arguing about who opens it. Finally, Apollyon grabs it, and that's what it is.
15 days. The Wyvern's Rest Tavern. Meet there. Meet me there. B. Who's B?
This is the letter we left for Shadow.
Where?
Oh, Blood.
Where is he?
Yeah, I immediately, after reading that, reach forward and take, I don't know, who appeared to be their leader, I guess. This woman that was talking to us during time?
The female orc of the three is the one who seemed to be talking the most.
Yeah, I'll step forward and like grab her by her clothes and lift her up off of the ground.
Okay, well you can certainly try. Let's make athletics checks.
Okay.
All right, and then let me say something after that.
Jesus.
29!
Yeah, you grab onto her and she immediately grabs your wrists and tries to flex, but you're Apollyon and you lift her off of your her feet up over your head easily. Veil, what did you want to say next?
So Veil, in the friendliest tone that anybody here has ever seen, and most like welcoming, like almost sickly sweet, walks over and gently places his hand on Apollyon's shoulder. Friend, please, put her down. She's only a messenger. And he, with this big, like, smile that is just so disgustingly fake-looking, says, "Ma'am, would you please, tell us who gave you this letter and what it means?" And he's going to try to persuade her.
Okay, go ahead and make your persuasion check.
That's a 27.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Loving these back-to-back crits.
Kind of blows my idea out of the water.
Yeah.
I mean, not the crits matter when you're not attacking, but it is the highest you can roll.
Yeah, it is the highest you can roll, and 27 is pretty fucking good. And she's looking at you very surprised, and she's, well, my boss, Shadows, he sent us to collect you. This is kind of a dump here, and this place is much, much nicer. So he sent us to come get you and bring you to meet him. You had a meeting scheduled with him, right? And she's kind of like pointing at the letter.
And he's still smiling, and he turns towards Apollyon and with his hand still on his arm, "My friend, please place her down."
All right. Well, why didn't he come here himself? And I'll put her down.
He just explained, because this place is a dump and his place is much nicer.
Seems like he's talking down to us. I don't like that.
One of the other orcs speaks up, the one that has a rapier at his side, and he just says, "The boss is really busy today. He's had meetings all morning long. So that's why he sent us. This wasn't supposed to be an all-aggressive thing. We're just sent here to escort you."
And I say, you'll have to excuse Apollyon. He's a little jumpy right before the tournament. I'm sure you understand. So let's not waste any more time. And he starts to head towards the door.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fine.
We left a note.
Lead the way.
And he responded, "Everyone's a man of their word." Hopefully they have good beer there. Let's go.
Fine, let's get out of here.
Blood, did you still want to say something?
I feel like after this is just having a Blood sitting there on the table with his chin, hand in his chin, their head in his chin. He's like, "God, you guys would have been fucking killed a long time ago if you were Syndicate members." Oh my god.
We're not.
Syndicate member, I'd have killed myself.
That's my handwriting. I know why they're here. And he goes, "Boss, though. What exactly is he the boss of?"
All three of them kind of just look at one another and shrug.
He might even throw in some hand signals for him to let him know, just like that he knows who the fuck they are.
They just kind of shrug their shoulders. He's the boss. He tells us what to do, and we do it.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Straightforward.
Where exactly let me ask, what area of the city is his location in? You don't have to tell me the exact streets. Tell me the location. The area.
The upper northeast or northwest side.
I guess would Blood know anything in particular about that area? Because he was... I know he was a thief.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that if he wasn't a fence. Would Blood have known what job he was within the guild just by when he met him?
You never asked him, and it's not like people wear insignia badges.
Well, we got color coded, but can I say would he have made an inference? Would he have tried to have all right, this guy?
No, not in any of your interactions. No,
yeah,
you've identified yourself, and I described specifically when he responded and how he responded, but you never talked about what he did. Just you asked him what he was doing, and he's told you he was heading to Revancia.
Yeah. where we ended up going.
All right. Let's go.
Fuck, I didn't realize we were
United.
going to the same place that he said he was going.
Yeah, that's where he said he's going.
You lead the way.
One of them shrugs, and the one with the rapier does take the lead, and the other two kind of fall into the sides of your group, and all together they lead you out. And you can ask them where you're going, and they tell you that they're taking you to an inn called the Archer and the Rose, which is just
if they're all ahead, Blood is going to lean in close to
no,
Veil.
they're not like getting ahead of you. They're walking around you. They're
going in front. The wall we're walking.
One's in front, two or to the side.
Blood's not going to allow himself to be bracketed.
Oh my god.
But he's going to whisper to Veil, he's like, send a message to my friend. And he's going to say the exact, like the tavern, it's like, tell him where we're going. And he's going to ask him to do a sending spell to Kozik. Not without saying his name. He's like, send a message to my friend. Let him know where we're going.
Okay.
My god, the most paranoid person in the world. We can't go 5 feet without you.
We're with other people being taken to a second... Nobody... You'd never go to a secondary location. Nobody ever fucking told you that?
So, Veil is debating, he's hard debating in his head right now, to pretend to send a message and just nod to you and say, yeah, he knows. Because I did not prepare sending.
God damn you.
Yeah.
Does Eloise
I'm just gonna...
No, she doesn't.
I'm gonna just let you know truthfully. But, you know what? Veil's just... Actually, this is what he's gonna do. That same disgusting, sickly, sweet smile, he's just going to turn just his head. His body's walking forward, and he just turns his head at a 90-degree angle to stare you right in the eyes with that smile. Hold gaze for a minute, and then turn back.
Oh, Warren's in here. Well, then he's gonna look at it and be like, we need to be prepared. He goes, just... We need to be prepared. He's just going to tap his weapon.
Just it's looking forward and smiling.
Alright, I'll go. Always have that spell. Always.
Spell slots are too precious to hold on to a message spell for a paranoid person.
Alright. When have we not run into trouble everywhere we go? Just telling you. Seems to be our group's thing.
And the gentleman with the mouth that resembles a vandalized graveyard will come to our rescue.
You'd be surprised.
It takes you about 30 or 40 minutes to walk across the city, making your way at a relatively clipped pace. But eventually you come to the tall sandstone building. That is, let's see here. It's in a residential quarter on that northwestern side of town, not too far away from the town gate. Its neighbors include a small traveling shrine and a clothes merchant. This in itself is a 2-story timber and brick building with a reinforced wooden door, and which is surprising because most places don't have doors in this city, but this one actually does. And as you step inside, it has a smooth stone floor. Inside,
I clap as I walk inside.
Absolutely, and a few people kind of glance up and look at you as you do this, but for the most part, they ignore you. And the dwarf behind the bar, it looks like he's about to call out, but then he looks at the 3 orcs, and they nod, and he nods, and the lady of the group walks up to the bar and kind of seems to whisper at him for a minute as the other two stand in front of you and just kind of hold up a hand. A moment passes, and she walks back over and she says, "The boss will see you now." As you're walking by, you're walking up towards the bar. There's a little door to the back that one of the orcs open up. As they do so, three individuals step through the door from the kitchen, heading outward. Apollyon, you actually recognize one of them. The three that step out are a pair of humans and a turtle that you actually ran into this morning.
Oh, I thought it was going to
Right.
be Biscuit. You guys, like, heart filled with joy. And you crushed it.
Now, the two of you nod to one another. And they make their way out of the bar. And the three orcs lead you around and into the back and down. When you get into the back, there's another dwarf sitting behind the desk, and he kind of looks up at your group and kind of just nods his head over to a trapdoor that one of the orcs, the female, walks over and opens it up and climbs down while the other two sit there and, like, go ahead. You know.
I feel like we're seeing the gentleman.
Yeah, this is all pretty strange. I thought we could just meet face to face with this guy.
What's with all the theater?
The orc kind of chuckles and she says, "The boss likes his privacy." Climbing down into the lower level, you make your way into another bar in this lower area. This one is about as filled as the last. Quite a few tabaxi are sitting down here. A couple are playing cards at the bar itself, and they all look up as you enter in. One of the orcs look over at the tabaxi behind the bar and calls out, "Is the boss ready for us?" And the tabaxi nods his head and replies, "Yeah, he was just meeting with another group, but you're good to go." The orc walks over and opens the door to another chamber. This one is dug out of the same earth as the one you're currently in, but is lined with bookshelves. There is a full bar in the back of the room, filled with quite a few bottles of whiskey and several pewter mugs. The table itself, there is a candelabra in the center, which is lit. It has a large map on one side and several books and papers. There's a door to the south, right about here, that is closed. The orcs follow you in as well. What's that?
As Veil walks around the room, are there any books of note, worth of note that would intrigue him?
Make an investigation check.
All right.
Can I make an insight check for the best whiskey?
Go for it.
Oh, shit.
Yes. I haven't rolled all game. 26.
Yeah, there is a beautiful bottle of 20-year-old whiskey on one side of the bar.
Beautiful.
And 23 for the book.
So looking through the different books, one book does spot your interest. It is a book specifically about bank heists.
Okay. I take it off the shelf and just hold it in my hand.
Just scanning through it, the book itself talks a little bit about different styles of banks and the vaults that they carry inside of them. Just your kind of you flick through the book a little bit as you're standing there, and a lot of them seem to detail like big doors that you have to pick and break in certain ways. Lots of traps involved to protect the thing. That it's an interesting read, but you've only kind of skimmed the surface. I
thumbed through the. Do I see anything about anti-magic barriers and how to disarm them?
No.
Or should I wait?
No. Okay. There's just straight up nothing in that book. It's just a book about bank heists.
All right. Well, I'll hold on to it anyway.
That's exactly what we might need.
I
just like that he has a book about bank heists just on his shelf.
Yeah.
It's next to the, John Grisham's there. Next to,
Yeah, definitely a big group of John Grisham books there. Eventually, the door to the back opens up, and out steps through a familiar face. Shadows in the wind. The Tabaxi, looking quite a bit better dressed and cleaned up than the last time you saw him. Last time he had spent a week in siege, and so he was pretty grimed up. Now you see him in a very nice, fine doublet and cloak about his shoulders. He is well armed as always, and he still has the eye patch over one eye. His fur is gray. His eyes are a dark red. And as he steps through and glances around, he kind of smiles, a very wide Tabaxi smile, and he says, I was hoping it was your group. Had kind of a gamble when I found that note, but actually that's the wrong voice. He's more southern.
You copied my drawl.
Yeah, I was a bit more southern like this, but anyway, I was hoping that it was your group that left that note and not some random person. I was looking for you. I came back to the monastery and all of you all were gone. Where'd you all go?
Oh, you did you?
We went down the crypt.
Yeah.
Was it the crypt?
You noticed all the bad things stopped. Yeah, we had to go stop that.
I remember well you all volunteering to go down in there. That was a good show. Lots of things came up when you left. That was a bit harrowing. Eventually lost the father and lost the half-elf as well. I was sad to see that, but those things happen in battle.
Her name was Shortha.
And
does Vale see the hole on him by any chance? Like, is it tucked into a collar?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
So a lot of things came up. Did anything go back down?
15.
Oh, sure thing. I went down there looking for y'all. Wasn't sure if you were alive or dead. Saw some zombies and other things down there. It was messy. But it seemed like nothing more was coming up there. So seemed like you did a good job. And as I'm seeing you here, he shrugged. Did a good job, it looks like.
15 on the perception.
Yeah.
You do not see anything on him that resembles your portable home now.
So Vale's just going to cut right to the chase and say, my item, I believe you have it or had it, and I would like it back. It's the portable hole.
Oh, yes. That's right. I did borrow that. That's true. Hold on one second. Cutting right to the chase. I wanted to, exchange some pleasantries a little bit, but that's okay. And
they are subtle folk.
noticed that the last time I was with y'all. He walks over to the small metal chest that's on the table, takes out a key and opens it up, and pulls out a familiar object, a roll of velvet-like cloth, and he sets it down on the table. He says, "Now, I cleaned that out really good for you. Very dirty, very dirty. Covered in slime when I first looked in there. I literally threw up. So you really need to take better care of your magical items, but I appreciate the loan."
Veil, furious, but at the same time, just in awe that it's just so there's his whole, there's his livelihood, the thing that can contain and make him who he is, contain the monsters that he raises, and he felt half a necromancer without it. He hurriedly scoops it off the table, and as soon as he does, it's like that feeling like if you've ever ran a half marathon or a 5K or anything, that you cross the finish line, or just you're punching out at the end of the day. It was a long day of work. You punch out, you go home, and you crack that beer open, or just relax on the couch, like that feel. Just everything.
I thought
all
it was
at once,
more like a security blanket or something.
More of like he's been waiting for this moment, and it's bittersweet because he wanted to hate this guy. He wanted to just murder him, slow and painful, and then sit over and raise him and have him be the new minion. But he thinks more. He's pretty intelligent, and he says he's just going over things in his head of events that could have happened, and if we volunteered to go down to the crypts, he goes down there and just sees Veil's minions all over the floor, dead. Happens to take the only thing of value in that room, not thinking twice of it, and getting out of town before more come. He doesn't want to say he's forgiving him, but he's understanding, and he looks Shadows right in the eye, and he holds the book with the bank heist book,
Mm-hmm.
and he just says, "I'm going to borrow this," and he tucks it in his pocket and puts the portable hole in his pocket secure, and it just feels like he feels whole again, and he is completely done with this interaction. Doesn't care what this guy has to say, doesn't care what anything else has to say. He's just going to continue to browse the bookshelves.
Well, as you say that, and as you take the portable hole and put it in your coat, Shadows cautions. Now, don't open that in here, but I left you a little present as a thank you for letting me use that and transporting my wife here much easier. I did happen to notice your predilection, and as a way of saying thank you, I secured a handful of items that I think you would certainly appreciate.
Okay, and Veil feels even more excited and relieved, so he can't wait to see what he got for Christmas.
I was curious how you were going to get your maid home. I'm glad to see that was successful.
He kind of nods his head a little bit, and he taps his hands on that chest that he closes, and is like, "Yeah, and the quickest and easiest way I knew to bring her along with me is to use that hole that I found down there. I saw you use it. I knew what it was, and just say no hard feelings. It helped me out a little bit, and
I only wish you would have stuck around, because Miss Eloise could have brought her back.
Well, and he kind of... Well, fact of the matter is, I did actually head back to the monastery after I picked her up. I was going to talk to y'all. Hopefully thought you would be back, but when I arrived, I spoke with Niasi. She told me that y'all had just up and left. You had went outside, were looking around, and next thing she knew, you were gone. She wasn't sure where you all were. So I stayed there the night, and when I headed back out, because y'all never arrived, I did notice the note daggered to the front gate, and I saw that, and I saw the bee, and I thought, well, maybe this was you, and maybe I'll be able to. No, it's not Vulcan anesthetic. I'm doing shadows in the wind.
It's close, but
I'm trying to do more of a down song.
Vulcan's more like Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I picture him.
Yeah, definitely. But this is shadows. But this is shadows, and shadows like. Unfortunately, even if you all would have arrived, you wouldn't have been able to revive her. That's the first thing I tried once I got to a civilized town, find a cleric to revive her. But unfortunately, even a greater revive, whatever I can't remember what it's called, but the
restoration.
Full restoration, yeah, whatever, the full resurrection. He said, unfortunately, even a full resurrection spell would not bring my wife's soul back to her body. Took me a long time to figure this out, but I need something very particular. Something that I can only get in one place in the world. And he puts his hand down on the map on his table and he says,
swear to God if you say what I think you're about to say.
What I need is a ring of 3 wishes. And there's one in the city of Rowena right now.
Oh, God damn it. Let me guess. It's in the Zahim's vault.
Now, how in the hell would you know that?
I don't know. An extremely powerful magical item. Where could it possibly be?
And he kind of chuckles at that. And,
I mean, come
no,
on,
he just
man.
laughs at that. Like, of course it's in the vault. We are all thieves here. We are all members of the same. Well, at least a couple of us are. Of course that's where it is.
They don't belong. I would never let them in. Well, maybe Veil. We could use him. Probably pretty regularly. The rest of them, though, they can't keep them.
You say things like that.
I love you.
You're supposed to say no offense after you say stuff like that.
That's why he said, he goes, I love y'all, but you can't keep your mouth shut.
Oh, come on. You're always trying to do all this secret basement stuff. Let's just fight out in the sunlight.
Where the fuck
sweating our eyes.
We're in a secret basement right now, buddy.
I know that.
When Blood said that, and when he mentioned the Zahim's vault, Veil kind of perked back up and got more interested in the conversation.
Are you... Let me guess, because there's a certain thing that I owe you. Is that what you're about to... ask for?
You see that gleam in Shadow's eye, and he says, I see we are of a more like mind than I was hoping. That is indeed what I was planning on asking you. When I found that note, and I saw that you were going to be here, my mind was in motion, and I knew if I could put together a crew, I would be able to break into the most heavily secured location in the road.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
There we go!
You, Jeremy!
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
God, I was waiting for that for so fucking long.
Fucking asshole, you stole my line.
Well, I mean, technically, Veil was out of this conversation until...
Yeah, but you've already said it. The chat, everybody knows. They heard it.
No, what I'm saying is... No, what I mean is, he was out of the conversation, so it was more, I don't know, I can't think of the word to...
Blood, just say it. Just say it, Blood.
No, it doesn't. It would have meaning.
Just do it. You know you want to.
You son of a bitch! Yeah, okay, we're done. Try to do the Mr. Poopy Butthole version of it.
His heart wasn't in it.
So, what you're asking? This is more than just a favor. This is going to be something you're going to owe me when we're done with this one. Because this isn't just any favor, Shadows. You have to understand that, right?
He kind of chuckles at that, and he says,
I'm not going to ask for something crazy, but you have to understand that this is... You know what? Tell you what. I will do this. Because, yeah, of course, is everybody in here, well, not these people, but he's going to point to the orcs. He's like, we all have dreamt of doing this. But I'm going to need your help on something. I want you to find somebody for me. That's all you have to do. You just have to find somebody. I even can tell you the ship he's on.
I've got an idea, Blood.
well,
And he leans in close and he says, he's asking us to get him the Ring of Three Wishes. He only wants it for one thing. Can't you use one of them?
Yeah. Do you know what that item is? I mean, I know because that is...
So, Shadows holds up his hand and says, hold on just one moment. I know where your mind is going. The ring only has one wish left.
But
that is a well-known fact.
Even then, he wasn't going to give it to us. But we all have heard the legends of an item like that. Of course, I would love it, but he wouldn't have given us another wish.
But this is what I am willing to do. There is a lot of treasure in that vault. It is a literal dragon's hoard.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
What I'm offering for the payment of my knowledge and expertise is the Ring of Three Wishes and an equal share.
Well, that's... I mean, if I'm breaking into that, of course I was going to get the share.
That's what I'm saying. An equal share for everybody on this mission.
So are you including yourself in that, I'm assuming?
He nods and says, the Ring of Three Wishes is my payment for figuring out how to get in. I have the plan. I have the plan. I came up with the idea, and I am putting together a crew. The payment for each of the crew is a percentage of the take, minus that 3 wishes.
Okay.
You son of a bitch! I'm in.
Hey, buddy, you have to fight tomorrow. You're not going to be involved in this.
Okay. Oh, right. Well, good luck.
How about this then?
Hope you don't die.
Like I said, you can use your vast information. I just want you to find one individual on a ship called the Dos Rios. Find out where he's going to be. That's not difficult for you, is it? I'll persuade him if I have to.
Go ahead and make your persuasion check.
Oh, I'm gonna use anesthetics because she in chat gave me inspiration.
Eloise.
No,
He's not in
anesthetic.
chat. Anesthetic gave him inspiration in chat.
Where is she? I said, where's Eloise?
We think she dropped out. She might have been tired or sick. Yeah, she dropped out. We don't know.
Or computer problems. We're not sure.
That too. That's a 16. Just find me that ship. That's all I need. And I will do your job. Just trust me. I've got my own ideas how to get into this place.
So he rolled a 25 on that.
Crazy enough.
Or not persuasion. That's
I think there's one person we need to talk to.
Insight.
Honestly, I think you already unknowingly said the idea earlier. You have the thing that lets you breathe underwater and see.
Well, so you're
this guy's got a whole plan.
Hold on.
Can we listen to it?
So, as you say this, he looks you up and down, and he seems to be thinking and regarding you a little bit. And finally, he holds out his hands and he says, "You have a deal. You have a deal, Blood from the Stone. I'll find the information on the Dos Rios for you.
Don't have any rings on. I'll shake his hand.
And as you take his hand, in his, he kind of pulls you close to him and puts another hand on top of yours, and he says, And that's an agreement from the architect. So you know it's genuine. And then he lets go.
You
I
gotta
had my
be shitting
assumptions.
me.
I had my assumptions.
Everybody shut the fuck up. You are the architect. You are the... Damn it. I swear to God, you fucking know him too, don't you? You know Kozak, don't you? He knew who you were already. God damn it.
Oh, what? I know the man Kozik. I looked into you the moment I got back to Rowena.
Yeah.
But
God
him?
damn it.
Why would I have anything to do with
I don't
the
know.
fence on a fucking street?
Have some respect, sir. That's a little rude.
He just gives you a look, not meaning to belittle your friend. I'm just saying, I have no business with your former boss. I seen what you can do.
You wanted to do this whole time. When you asked me for that favor, was this your plan this whole time?
He just kind of... He looks at you and he says, my wife was not dead then. I take favors where I can. That's what a good thief does.
I mean, all you had to do is just tell me you wanted to break into that vault. I would have fucking... I mean, if you had said that was your favor, I mean, goddamn it, I would have done it.
It wasn't my favor until I needed it to be.
Oh, everybody in this room as well.
This right here is, what's the word I'm looking for?
Retirement?
No, it's a situation that benefits all of us. You owe me a favor. I need to get into a vault. I feel like this is a good business relationship.
So, do you know how... You said you have a plan and it's all mapped out. You know how to bypass the anti-magic?
He looks at you.
Assuming there's anti-magic.
How do you know there's anti-magic?
I've heard rumors that there was no magic allowed in or passing.
Oh, I know where it is. I know exactly where it is. The problem is getting to it is the problem. And he actually pulls out that map and kind of rolls it out. And you can see that there is a general blueprint, which I'm going to give you guys between now and next session. But he says, you want to know exactly where the control to the anti-magic detectors are? And he points right down to a lower box. That's there's actually a few pages to this, and he points at it and he says, right there, in the vault. That's where it's located.
It's inside the vault?
Now, if we're able to get in there and destroy it, we can teleport out of there without issue.
So it doesn't block magic getting in, it blocks teleportation, obviously, okay.
That's why I'm putting together a crew. Because getting into just a simple vault is easy. Getting into a highly defended magical vault that's been around for thousands of years, that takes a lot more skill and ingenuity. Now, I do have a plan that involves a few magic users like yourself, a few thieves like me and you, and a good amount of muscle. And he looks over at the orcs. Willow, Corn, get in on here.
What about the switcheroo?
Well, the switcheroo is right now, because as the door to the back opens, two more individuals step out. A smallish human woman with blonde hair and blue eyes, and a tall, tanned elf with brown hair, and an odd sort of get-up. It's all white. It kind of looks almost military-ish, with high shoulder pads. These two step out.
His hair standing on end.
What's that?
Is that a full elf?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that is a full elf.
What are you doing with one of them? Is he part of your crew?
He is indeed. He is
Yeah, you heard me right. I don't trust elves.
Veil looks at Blood with a curious look.
For you. I helped you dig up dead bodies. That's trust enough.
For your purposes, I am a practitioner of the magic of time, and thus a useful necessity for Mr. Shadows.
But you're an elf.
If you have a problem with my outward appearance, then perhaps you should spend less time concentrating on what other people look like and concentrating on what is inside you, as clearly that is where your real problem resides.
No, it's the fact that elves have brutalized my people for generations.
Veil's just looking back and forth, just smiling. And he kind of looks at Blood and looks at
you
this...
You have no idea, do you?
New elf, and he says, I like this guy.
New elf, who dis?
Just stay the fuck
New elf.
My name is Korin Hassan.
And Veil,
I don't care.
Veil reaches and extends his actual hand.
No.
And he presents it in a manner of shaking. He says, Necthros Veil.
I'll shake.
And as you're looking each other over, you can both tell that there's a kinship there. Both of you have books close at hand. Both of you seem to be unarmed as far as like weapons and that sort of thing. But yeah, there's definitely a kinship there. But Shadows raises a hand up. Yeah, go ahead before I do that.
I was just going to say, just let him know. I'm not sure if he's followed the show or the our game, but this is a once in a lifetime thing. Veil actually touching somebody or shaking somebody's hand with his actual hand instead of a mage hand.
Nice.
Now, Shadows, as you're doing that whole litany, Blood, Shadows puts a hand up and he says, Now, we are all friends here, at least for the length of the endeavor, let's call it. Willow here has been a friend of mine for many years, and she refers Mr. Cohen here and speaks quite highly of him. I'm sure his expertise as a wizard will come in handy in this endeavor. Now, and he looks over at Eloise, and I trust you'll be able to assist us as well. I do have need of someone of druidic persuasion.
And she's also very good at keeping the peace.
And that might be a good idea for your hot-blooded friend over here.
You stay on that side of the heist.
Yeah, definitely some animosity between the Tabaxi and the elf, but it seems like a really good place to end things for this evening. We're going to be picking it up next week with the heist in the 7 o'clock time and the gladiator tournament in the 3 o'clock time. So this is gonna
you
be a lot
son of a bitch, I'm in.
Indeed.
I swear I hate you, fucking Jeremy, for taking that from me. Little bitch.
Did you tell me you were going to do it?
Hey, I'm the fucking... He's talking at you. I think I even said that when we were sitting there talking about this shit. And Matt's like, he goes, if you don't say that, and I was waiting till he stopped talking, and then I was going to do it. Like, God damn you.
But yeah, looking forward to it. So yeah, the heist is going to be at your classic Heist Con.
Tournament too. It's totally Heist Con.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, I think. But anyway, we'll talk more about that next session.
Thanks for joining us, Steve.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Steven, and thank you, Brandy, earlier for popping in and doing cameos.
Yeah, we just missed John.
That.
Always happy to help out with cool stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a shocker from like a surprise. I had no idea. That was awesome.
Oh yeah,
God, I'd hate to have to kill your second
Hell
character.
yeah.
So just play your play cards right.
Hey, I don't care. My character, my second character's already died once. How do you think he?
All you gotta do is tell him you're a rabbit.
I'm not a rabbit, not anymore.
You're a rabbit. Anyway.
Anyway, well, that's where we're going to end things for this evening. So I just want to say, on behalf of everyone here in the Fab Five and the Debauchery Circus, thank you for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next week for the crossover. So, good night.
Silver Hut.
Peace.
Are you on camera too?
Yeah, he's in Eloise's spot.
Mm-hmm.
He and Bree are the ones that are always on camera for their group.
Yeah.